Alright, hey, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Ruach HaKodash, and double honors to my apostles, a great millstone, and peace and salutations to hopeful members of the elect, the Bacharim, the house of David, that's been preordained, predestined to get delivered in these last times, and to be the ruling, governing body of the nation, Yasha'Allah. So I want to go into a lesson, some historical accounts in the scriptures, going into Second Kings, the 19th chapter, and this goes to show you to trust in Yahweh Bashim Shai. So I'm gonna get some scriptures and showing you to trust in the Lord. All right, and we're gonna dive into this chapter. Okay. Now, just to give you a little background, this is Second Kings, the 19th chapter. Okay, Isaiah encourages Hezekiah. So this takes place around 701 BC during the reign of King Hezekiah of Judah and the rule of King Sennacherib of Assyria. This was the Neo-Assyrian Empire, a time when Assyria was expanding its power and conquering many nations in the ancient Near East. Right. And this was also the time after, I should say, that the Northern Kingdom was already carried away, and they were already in the Americas by this time, because again this time period was 701 BC. Okay, with King Hezekiah and the prophet Isaiah. And King Hezekiah was in straits, in trouble, because of the king of Assyria, Sennacherib, besieging Jerusalem. Okay, so we're gonna read this whole chapter. All right, and we're gonna start off, and it says, it's 19 verse 1 in 2 Kings. And it came to pass, when King Hezekiah heard it, that he rent his clothes, and he covered himself with sackcloth, and went into the house of the Lord. Right, because if we get the which I don't really have to get it. Maybe I can actually. Salakia. Let's go to the chapter before. It was Sennacherib's messenger. Okay, Rabshakeh, who was speaking to the Israelites in the Hebrew tongue, basically threatening them and trying to give them false hope. All right. Let's see. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I'll start at verse 17. And the king of Assyria sent Tartan and Rabsaris and Rabshakeh from Lachish to King Hezekiah with a great host against Jerusalem. And they went up and came to Jerusalem. When they were come up, they came and stood by the conduit of the upper pool, which is in the highway of the fuller's field. And when they had called to the king, there came out to them Eliakim the son of Hilkiah, which was over the housetop, and Shebna the scribe, and Joah the son of Asaph the recorder. And Rabshakeh said unto them, Speak ye now to Hezekiah. Thus saith the great king, the king of Assyria, What confidence is this wherein thou trustest? Thou sayest, but they are but vain words. I have counsel and strength for the war. Now on whom dost thou trust, that thou rebellest against me? Right, so he's speaking to King Hezekiah. All right, or he's speaking to King Hezekiah's, as it says right here, there came out to them Eliakim the son of Hilkiah, which was over the household, right, and Shebna the scribe, and Joah the son of Asaph the recorder. All right, so Rabshakeh is giving a message, all right, unto King Hezekiah's, for lack of better terms, messengers, okay, and giving them a threatening words, okay. Now behold, thou trustest upon the staff of this bruised reed, even upon Egypt, on which if a man lean, it will go into his high hand and pierce it. So is Pharaoh king of Egypt unto all that trust on him. It says, but if ye say unto me, we trust in the Lord our power, is not that he whose the high places and whose altars Hezekiah hath taken away? And he said to Judah and Jerusalem, ye shall worship before this altar in Jerusalem. Now therefore I pray thee, give pledges to my Lord the king of Assyria, and I will deliver thee 2,000 horses, if thou be able on thy part to set riders upon them. How then wilt thou turn away the face of one captain of the least of my master's servants, and put thy trust on Egypt for chariots and for horsemen? Okay, so let me just skip down, okay, to verse 26. Then said Eliakim the son of Hilkiah, and Shebna, and Joah, and Rabshakeh, speak, I pray thee, to thy servants in the Assyrian language, for we understand it, and talk not with us in the Jews' language in the ears of the people that are on the wall, right? Because he didn't want them to scare them. But Rabshakeh has said unto them, hath my master sent me to thy master and to thee to speak these words? Hath he not sent me to the men which sit on the wall, that they may eat their own dung and drink their own piss with you? Then Rabshakeh stood and cried with a loud voice in the Jews' language, proud, just very proud, and spake, saying, hear the word of the great king, the king of Assyria. Thus saith the king, let not Hezekiah deceive you, for he shall not be able to deliver you out of his hand. Neither let Hezekiah make you trust in the Lord, saying, the Lord will surely deliver us, and this city shall not be delivered in the hand, and this city shall not be delivered in the hand of the king of Assyria. Hearken not to Hezekiah, for thus saith the king of Assyria, make an agreement with me by a present, and come out to me, and then eat ye every man of his own vine, and every one of his fig tree, and drink ye every one of his waters of his cistern. So this is a very proud statement that Rabshakeh, the messenger of King Sennacherib, was making. And you can see why, because the Assyrian Empire was ruling, and they were conquering and taking many nations, okay? Taking down many nations and setting up their own provinces throughout the many nations that they conquered. Okay, so just to get that, all right. So obviously King Hezekiah heard this, and that's why he was just in straits. Okay. So it says, and it came to pass when King Hezekiah heard it, back in 19 verse 1, that he rent his clothes and covered himself with sackcloth, and went into the house of the Lord, and he sent Eliakim, which was over the household, and Shebna the scribe, and the elders of the priests, covered with sackcloth, to Isaiah the prophet, the son of Amos. And they said unto him, thus saith Hezekiah, this day is a day of trouble and of rebuke and blasphemy, for the children are come to the birth, and there is not strength to bring forth. And may be the Lord thy power will hear all the words of Rabshakeh, whom the king of Assyria, his master has sent to reproach the living power, and reprove the words which the Lord thy power hath heard. Wherefore lift up thy prayer for the remnant that are left. Right. So, hey, in the ancient days, they always went to the prophet because they were the messengers of the Lord. The prophet had more ranking status even over the king. Okay. So the servants of King Hezekiah came to Isaiah, and Isaiah said unto them, thus shall ye say to your master, thus saith the Lord, be not afraid of the words which thou hast heard, with which the servants of the king of Assyria have blasphemed me. Behold, I will send a blast upon him, and he shall hear a rumor, and shall return to his own land, and I will cause him to fall by the sword in his own land. Sennacherib defies God. Now, this was prophecy, all right? Because this surely did happen, all right? Sennacherib defies God. So Rabshakeh returned and found the king of Assyria warring against Lebnah, for he had heard that he was departed from Lachish. When he heard say of Tirhakah, the king of Ethiopia, behold, he is come out to fight against thee, he sent messengers again unto Hezekiah, saying, Thus shall ye speak to Hezekiah, king of Judah, saying, Let not thy power, whom thou trustest, deceive thee, saying, Jerusalem shall not be delivered in the land, as like in the hand of the king of Assyria. So he's trying to create false hope and put that doubt spirit on King Hezekiah. He was trying to do that, all right. And we can apply it to, to today with us. These people, they try to put this doubtful spirit on us, all right. But hey, as it says real quick, hey, the scriptures are written for our learning, right? Second Ezra, the 15th chapter, verse 5, and it says, actually not verse 5, verse 3. Fear not the imaginations against thee, let not the incredulity of them trouble thee. Incredulity, all right, their lack of faith. These people's lack of faith that speak against thee. Hey, it's like the same thing that's happened. We can apply this story to to us today. These people try to come up against us. They imagine wicked things against us. You know, even other Israelites, man. Okay, these Edomites, these international banking families, hey, they're gonna come against us. All right, they're already coming against us, but they're gonna try to physically touch us, man. And that's when the Lord's gonna lift up the standard. All right, and some brothers will get delivered. Okay, but either way, hey, you still win because you'll be the first resurrected. It's not a loss at all. All right, it's actually a glorious thing to die for Yahweh Shemashah. You have to remember that. Okay, but don't let the incredulity of them trouble you. All right, because the Lord is going to guide us. He's going to protect us. All right, even when you're in the midst, you might be sentenced to jail and might have to get beheaded. The Lord's still with you, and guess what? You will come right back. You know, so there's nothing to fear. And it says, verse 11, Behold, thou hast heard what the kings of Assyria had done to all lands by destroying them utterly, and shalt thou be delivered? Have the gods of the nations delivered them, which my fathers have destroyed, as Gozan and Haran and Rezeph and children of Eden, which were in Delasar, where is the king of Hamath and the king of Arpad and the king of the city of Sepharvaim, of Hena and Iva? Hezekiah's prayer, okay? Then it says, And Hezekiah received the letter of the hand of the messengers and read it. And Hezekiah went up into the house of the Lord and spread it before the Lord. And Hezekiah prayed before the Lord and said, O Lord, power of Israel, which dwellest between the cherubims, thou art the power, even thou alone, of all the kingdoms of the earth. Thou hast made heaven and earth. So, hey, what did Hezekiah do when he heard all this? The first righteous thing he did was pray. All right, he prayed unto Yahweh. Okay, and we are to pray to Yahweh Bashim Al Shai whenever we come against an obstacle or trouble. Someone's trying to trouble us. All right, we are to pray to Yahweh Bashim Al Shai, whatever it may be, and ask the Lord to deliver you and to increase your spirit and to increase your faith, whatever it may be, whatever obstacle you pray unto Yahweh Bashmashai, and He will help you overcome it. All right. And it says in Hezekiah, it's like in verse 60 now, Lord, bow down thine ear and hear. It's like, Lord, bow down thy ear and hear. Open, Lord, thine eyes and see and hear the words of Sennacherib, which had sent him to reproach the living power. Of a truth, Lord, the kings of Assyria have destroyed the nations and their lands. and have cast their gods into the fire, for there were no gods, but the work of men's hands, wood and stone. Therefore they have destroyed them. Now therefore, O Lord, our power, I beseech thee, save thou us out of his hand, that all the kingdoms of the earth may know that thou art the Lord power, even thou only. Okay, we're almost done. God's answer through Isaiah. Then Isaiah the son of Amos sent to Hezekiah, saying, Thus saith the Lord power of Israel, Thou which thou hast prayed to me against Sennacherib, king of Assyria, I have heard. This is the word that the Lord has spoken concerning Slakia. This is the word that the Lord has spoken concerning him. The virgin, the daughter of Zion, had despised thee, and laughed thee to scorn. The daughter of Jerusalem has shaken her head at thee. Whom thou whom hast thou reproached and blasphemed? Against whom hast thou exalted thy voice and lifted up thine eyes on high, even against the Holy One of Israel? By thy messengers thou hast reproached the Lord, and hast said, With the multitude of my chariots I have come up to the height of the mountains, to the sides of Lebanon, and will cut down the tall cedar trees thereof, and the choice fir trees thereof. And I will return into the lodgings of his borders, and into the forests of his Carmel. I have digged and drunk strange waters, and with the sole of my feet have I dried up all the rivers and besieged Slakia. And with the sole of my feet have I dried up all the rivers of besieged places. Hast thou not heard long ago have I done it, and of ancient times that I have formed it? Now have I brought it to pass that thou shouldest be laid to waste fenced cities into the ruinous heaps? Right, so it's nothing to Yahweh Shemashai to, you know, to overcome your enemies. All right, any obstacles you can overcome it. All right, nothing is impossible with the Lord at all. Okay. It says, therefore, their inhabitants were of small power. They were dismayed and confounded. They were as the grass of the field, and as the green herb, as the grass on the housetops, and as the corn blasted before it be grown up. But I know thy abode, and thy going out, and thy coming in, and thy rage against me. Because thy rage against me and thy tumult is come up into mine ears, therefore I will put my hook into thy nose, and my bridle in thy lips, and I will turn thee back by the way by which thou camest. And this shall be a sign unto thee. Ye shall eat this year such things as grown of themselves, and the second year that which springeth of the same, and the third year sow ye and reap and plant vineyards and eat the fruits thereof. Right, because Sennacherib, the king of Assyria, was besieging the land. Basically, the Lord's like, look, don't even worry about him. All right, don't even worry about him. I'm gonna handle him. You know, the Lord's gonna handle it, because ultimately that's what when a nation and their army besiege another nation's land. All right, is to it's basically to wait them out, let them starve. Okay. So the Lord was like, I'm gonna handle. I'm gonna take care of Sennacherib's army. All right, I'm gonna take care of him. And the remnant that is escaped of the house of Judah shall yet again take root downward and bear fruit upward. For out of Jerusalem shall go forth a remnant, and they that escape out of Mount Zion, the zeal of the Lord of hosts shall do this. Therefore, thus said the Lord concerning the king of Assyria, he shall not come into this city, nor shoot an arrow there, nor come before it with shield, nor cast a bank against it. Right, because they were besieging the land. Um, what's that word? Let me just, what is a bank? Let me see what that is. Let's see. Okay, a bank refers to a siege ramp, a mound of earth or dirt piled up against a city's walls to help the attacking army get over them. It was a common military tactic in ancient times. Wow. So, the Lord saying, like, Sennacherib won't even get a chance to attack, shoot. Do none of that. Okay? He won't even build up a siege ramp against Jerusalem, a bank. Beautiful, man. Call Allah Yahweh Shemashai. And this is our power, man. So there's nothing to fear. When Esau comes down with great wrath, there's nothing to fear, man. All right? You have to remember, Esau, that's the Lord's left hand sword. He's going to destroy all these other people. But the Lord's going to protect his elect, man. And it says, by the way that he came, by the way shall he return. And shall not come to this city, saith the Lord. For I will defend this city to save it for my own sake and for my servant David's sake. And it came to pass that night that the angel of the Lord went out, and that's Yahweh Shai, if you can receive it, and smote in the camp of the Assyrians 103,5,000. That's 800. My bad, like that's 185,000. I looked it up. 185,000. And when they arose early in the morning, behold, they were all dead corpses. So man, can you imagine, Sennacherib just waking up and seeing all his army dead? Like, whoa. So Sennacherib, king of Assyria, departed and went and returned and dwelt at Nineveh. And it came to pass, as he was worshiping in the house of Nisrach, his god, that Andromelech and Sharazir, his son, smote him with the sword, and they escaped and they escaped into the land of Armenia, and Esarhaddon, his son, reigned in his stead. Right? Okay. So hey, again, this goes to show you to trust in Yahweh Shemashai. All right. And King Hezekiah had faith in the Lord. Okay. And the Most High sent a divine intervention, that angel, to smote, Sennacherib's army. All right. So let's get some scriptures on just trusting the Lord, man. Okay. Because we're coming to a time where, hey, Esau's going to crack down. He's going to take away the food, everything. But we're going to trust in the Lord, man. He's going to provide us food, drink, everything. He's going to guide our steps. All right. Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5. Trust in the Lord, Yahweh Shemashai, with all thine heart, and lean not unto thy own understanding. And in all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. Right. So trust in the Lord, man, because it's gonna get rough out here, and that great hour of temptation is gonna come. The mark of the beast, which is the RFID chip. All right, and you're gonna have your children, your wife begging you to take it. It's gonna get real out here, man. It's gonna be like, man, but you gotta trust in the Lord. All right, you gotta trust in the Lord, man. Whatever happens, hey, just keep going. All right, keep going. And just pray. Ultimately, pray, man, and the Lord will be with you. All right. Let's get Isaiah 26, verse 3, and it says, "Thou wilt keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee, because he trusted in thee." Right, man. Trust ye in the Lord forever, for the Lord Yahweh is an everlasting strength. That's right, man. All right, one more. I'll end it off. Psalm 37, verse 5. It says, "Commit thy way unto the Lord, trust also in him, and he shall bring it to pass." All right. Verse 3, "Trust in the Lord and do good, so shalt thou dwell in the land, and verily thou shalt be fed." But trust in Yahweh Shemashai, and read the scriptures, how he delivered all the men of the Lord. All right, Daniel in the lion's den, and the three holy children. All right, Elijah fed him by the way of the ravens. Okay, there's so much more we can go into. So there's nothing to fear, man. So Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. All right, with that, shalom.